All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of A-Town Rundown. Let's relax, unwind, talk about Atlanta sports. Before we get into that, let's address the elephant in the room. We did take a week off last week, and everybody wants to remind us of one thing that happened with the Hawks. Trust us, we know what happened with the Hawks.
And we will get there.
We'll get there. We know what happened with the Hawks. We know how the Knicks are doing. We know the Knicks are out there making other teams look bad. We get it, but you don't have to constantly remind us of that. We understand. Right. We know. We'll get to that. But before we get any further, there were two heartbreaking losses in Atlanta we had this past week. Ted Turner and Bobby Cox are both no longer with us. If you grew up watching the Braves, if you grew up watching the Hawks on TNT, watching the Braves on the Superstation, if you grew up in the 90s as an Atlanta sports fan, you cannot go any further without attributing that to Ted Turner, basically single-handedly. Ted Turner is the reason you were able to watch the Hawks on TNT, the Braves on the Superstation. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he buy the Hawks and the Braves just so he could bring it to the Superstation, just so there would be a way for Atlanta sports fans to watch their teams? Yeah. It doesn't get any better than that. So I don't care either way how you feel about Ted Turner as a person, but as an Atlanta sports person, like, he's one of the most important figures we had in Atlanta sports history, coupled with Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox, you grew up in the 90s. You've been a Braves fan. Everybody knows about Bobby Cox. Legendary manager. Personally, I think he's the greatest manager of all time. And I'm not just saying that as a Braves fan. I'm saying about the passion he had, the way he would always put his job on the line for his guys. You want to talk about all the ejections he has. The ejections from games is a record that will never be touched by anybody but Bobby Cox. But he did that for a specific reason. You know how passionate the game of baseball is, how heated you get, how you want to argue. And, of course, as a sports player, you want to get in the umpire's face. You want to argue for yourself. But Bobby would step in, make a case for his boys, and he would let himself get ejected and fined so that his boys didn't have to, and they could continue playing the game of baseball. We have so much to credit to give Bobby Cox just for the Atlanta Braves organization in general. It's a heartbreaking loss, you know. It's the way of life. If you're born, you're going to die. It doesn't make it any easier, but I cannot continue this show without touching on the impact Ted Turner and Bobby Cox both had on the Atlanta sports scene. It would not be where it is today without them. I'm sure you would have the Falcons possibly, but I don't even think you would have the Hawks in Atlanta anymore if it wasn't for Ted Turner. And dare I say, you might have lost the Braves as well. Like, he did everything he could to make Atlanta a reputable sports town, and he did a great job, you know. So you have to give so much credit to Ted Turner just for sports being alive and breathing in Atlanta to this day.
Yeah. I'm going to say my piece as well. Like, with Ted, it's like you got to think about how big of an impact he had on not just like sports in the city, but like having TBS here in Atlanta and having, you know, then CNN and things like that. Like, who knows if we get the international airport without that kind of stuff, or that, you know, that becomes what it is today. Who knows if Coca-Cola stays here to this day without Ted Turner, like, being a big part of it and bringing that kind of money into the city and that kind of spotlight onto the city. So I think Ted Turner is, you know, Mount Rushmore of the city of Atlanta. Absolutely. It's like MLK, Ted Turner. You know, we could figure out like who those guys are, like, outside of just sports. But he's definitely had a huge impact on the city that still today, you know, we see. You know, and then Bobby Cox, you know, the legendary skipper, man, like one of my favorite guys of all time. I've got on the wall right here for Christmas, you know, probably 20 years ago. My mom got me a signed picture of Bobby Cox getting tossed out of the World Series in '95.
Beautiful. So
prized possession of mine. I'm going to be showing that to people when I'm 75 years old. But, you know, what you said about the ejections, man, like, he was the ultimate player's manager. Not just in the fact that he would go to bat for you, like, whenever, you know, you had a spat with the umpire, and, you know, he's going to get tossed instead of you, which I think is a great sentiment in itself. But, like, the way that he developed players, like, not to forget that he was a general manager before he was like the 90s Braves manager. So, like, he drafted Chipper Jones. You know, he got John Smoltz. You know, he was part of getting Greg Maddux here. So, and then not just that, it's like some of the players we saw after that, like Jeff Francoeur and Brian McCann. Like, he brought those guys up through once they got out of the farm system, like, they're in their early 20s, and all of a sudden they're out there playing in the playoffs. And he's, you know, instilling confidence in these kids. Right. And then they go on to have, you know, amazing careers. And a lot of them will give him like the most credit of just like, this guy believed in me when I didn't believe in me,
Yeah.
you know, and he had just had that way about him where like even reporters, when they talk about him, like I heard Grant McCauley talking on his podcast saying that he was like 27 years old. He was just there basically to hold the mic for the radio station and then bring back quotes to the radio station, and he wasn't talking. And Bobby Cox kind of make him talk. Like, hey, what's your name? And then boom, he remembers your name. And every time he sees you, hey man,
Yeah.
you know, how you doing? Like, and just kind of just being like a genuinely good dude.
Yeah.
And you think about the winning culture that he brought. Like the Braves never had that. Like outside, he came in like after Hank Aaron was gone. You know what I mean? Like he came into the organization, like I guess in like the 80s, and then moved into the front office. Or I think he went up to like Toronto for a while after that. Then he moved into the front office. But when he was managing in the 90s, like no one expected them to do what they did for the next, 12 years, 14 years after that, or I guess the next 12 years. So I heard something about John Smoltz. Like he started the season 2-12 as a young guy. And in the second half of the season, he went like, I think like 12-2 or something. But he ends up starting game 7 of the World Series. But it's anyone else going 2-12, another manager would have been like, nah, he's on the bench.
You're not even considering him that far.
We're sending him back down. Exactly. But, because Bobby Cox continued to play him because he knew what he had in him. And, then you look at John Smoltz's illustrious career. So I think like the wisdom that he had and the imprint that he had on the organization, and the fact that like even after he retired, and even when we had like Freddie Gonzalez, like we still had good teams. We still had good players come up.
We did. Yeah. Absolutely.
Brian Snitker came up under Bobby Cox. We win a World Series. Now Walt Weiss, and the winning just keeps
Weiss,
coming.
who played under Bobby Cox,
Exactly. So like this just his stamp, stays with the franchise forever. So,
and I'll tell you this, man, that a lot of baseball historians, not just Atlanta fans, like people who study baseball, and that's like their thing, their job, they always refer to the Atlanta Braves as the team of the 90s. And it's not that they won the most championships in the 90s, is they were literally the most exciting team in the 90s. And you have Bobby Cox to thank for that. Like you pointed out, you have Bobby Cox to thank for Chipper Jones.
Yeah.
You have Bobby Cox, who got David Justice here, who got Fred McGriff here, who got the Holy Trinity, as I like to call them, Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox. You wouldn't have that trio without Bobby Cox. It wouldn't be the Atlanta Braves dynasty without Bobby Cox. And I understand we made it out of the 90s with only one World Series win, but we were constantly there. We were constantly nipping at the heels of another title. And that's how you earn the name, the team in the 90s, because they were on fire. They were the team to watch in the 90s. And it's, dare I say, single-handedly because of Bobby Cox. It almost was.
Well, and Ted. It's like it's the two of them together.
And
how many people have you met that like aren't from Atlanta, that aren't necessarily Braves fans, but they know everything about the Braves? Because
did you ever hear the story about Ted Turner when he was the general manager who decided he was just going to go coach a game because he was fed up with how bad the coaching was?
Yes,
and then,
I have. Yeah,
and then they told him, "Hey, you're never doing that again.
You're not doing that again. Yeah, you stay up here. Thanks for the money, man. We appreciate your opinion, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
Why don't you go throw some bison on the grill, Ted?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so rest in peace to both of them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
legends.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And moving forward, speaking of the Braves, let's talk about what the Braves are doing right now. At this moment, the Braves are playing the Cubs. It's the start to a 3-game series. The Braves are currently winning as we speak in the bottom of the 8th, 5-2. At this moment, you got Thornton on the mound and you got Dubon batting. Dubon is 0-3 for the night, though.
He might not stay that way.
Yeah, I don't think he will either.
Yeah.
But this is the start of a 3-game series at home in Truist Park, and it's the battle of division leaders. So already this early in the season, this is
battle of the
series.
2 best teams in the MLB right
now. Exactly.
Like
the Braves
Cubs
are
probably the hottest, but but we've been consistently good all year.
Absolutely. The Braves are sitting at 28-13 going into tonight, and then the Cubs are 27-14. It's only a 1-game differential between these teams. These are the best teams in baseball facing off tonight. Atlanta currently holds the best ERA in baseball. When's the last time you thought that we could say that, Jeremy? The best ERA in baseball is owned by the Atlanta Braves with 3.16. That's a 3.16 combined ERA with all of our pitchers, even with Grant Holmes, who came out in the 4th, and he's got a 4.3 by himself. We still have a combined 3.16 with all of our, and we thought pitching was going to be our downfall this year.
We did.
But also we also have a home dominance right now of 12-6. It's looking like it's going to be 13-6. If you want to look ahead into this matchup too, tomorrow you got J.R. Ritchie starting the game.
Ooh,
and then
killer rookie,
Chris,
dude. He had a great start.
He's already 1-0. Like you were talking, he has a great start, and he's only got a 3 ERA with that one start, so not bad. And then you got Chris Sale coming out to wrap up the series. He's at 6-2 with a 2.2 ERA.
They're lucky they're not seeing. They're lucky they're not seeing Bryce Elder, my boy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was dumping on 6 weeks ago.
Well, okay, so
boy was I wrong.
But check it out, man. It's like history is one of those things that like you can't help but just be honest with him because you never know. I say all the time on this podcast, you never know what you're going to get with a Bryce Elder. We still don't know if the other shoe is going to drop, but Bryce Elder is hot right now, and it's making me take back everything I said about him this far. But another guy who's hot. Can we talk about Matt Olson for a second? Because good Lord, Matt Olson's batting average right now is 296. He's got 14 home runs, 36 RBIs. He's tied for first in MLB, and that was 36 before this game started. I think when you and I started talking, he was at bat, and he got a few more, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he got 2 more.
Yeah, so when you talk about Matt Olson playing that well, who it's early in the season, but people are already saying MVP candidate. Everybody slow down on that. But
I don't know, man. If he's hitting like this, like he could be a top 5er.
I only say slow down because I don't ever like to jinx things because you start talking all that stuff and then all of a sudden injuries happen, everything. So Matt, just stay healthy, keep doing what you're doing. But as crazy as it sounds, we all remember how we got Matt Olson, but with how well he's been for the Braves, does it kind of make you not miss Freddie Freeman?
Dude, my opinion, I've seen little drop off, if any.
Okay. Well,
I mean, like, dude, think about how spoiled we've been with first baseman over the last,
absolutely. Well,
11 years.
Especially when it comes to his defense. I feel like
his defense is unmatched.
Matt Olson is unmatched, but I will pull up the numbers because I have a habit of doing that on this podcast. If we look at Freddie Freeman, if we look at Freddie Freeman's stats as of today, he does have a batting average of 267, which is still under Matt Olson. He's only got 4 home runs, 10 under Matt Olson. He's only got 20 RBIs. So it looks like if we're looking at batting alone, we won that battle. And then we talk about defense, what we already brought up. I think it's to the point where Freddie Freeman, I loved you when you were here, but I'm not missing you while you're gone.
No, I'm not, because hey, Matty O's here, and Matt Olson is leading the entire league in wins above replacement. So you look at that tells you. Like that's something that goes into consideration when you're talking about an MVP candidate.
Brother, something else I forgot to mention because we were talking about how hot the Braves pitching is right now. As you know, Raisel Iglesias got hurt and he's going to be out for about 6 weeks right now. Do you know what his ERA was before he got hurt?
No.
0.00 in 10 appearances.
And we have Suarez closing now. And it's like
I was just about to say you got Suarez standing in for him. Do you know what Suarez's ERA is?
No.
It's a big fat 0, my brother.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
Exactly.
And you did bring up that we have the league's best ERA, but I think we also have the league's best batting average.
I believe we do. I don't have that stat in front of me, but it would not surprise me.
Okay, so when you have those two things, man, and I hate to be the obvious stat guy when people are like, great analysis. Oh, yeah, if you score the most points, you're going to win. But when you've got the best batting average and you've got the best ERA, and, of course, there's a lot more in-depth stats that you can pull up that other teams will look good as well. But when you have those two things, it shouldn't be any surprise that they're the best team in baseball right now.
You know another thing we have? We got Drake Baldwin, my guy.
Dude, and he is still continuing, where he left off as Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Started off the season hot. I mean, I know they put him in the leadoff spot, like, since Cunha went out. And it was a little shaky for him, but, like, I thought he was killing it in that 2 spot.
Well, dude, as of
someone's got
to
hit leadoff, and I'm happy with it.
He's tied for 15th in home runs. He's 25th in the entire MLB for batting average, and he's tied for 5th with RBIs. And also, I think I have a weird problem here on the podcast. A lot of times I speak things into fruition. I talked about how well Jonah Heim was doing and how this is going to do nothing but increase his trade value. And when Sean Murphy comes back, you're going to have to pick between him and Drake. And because of how hot Drake's bat is, you're probably going to have to say goodbye to Jonah Heim. Guess what happened?
What? Sean Murphy gets hurt again?
Yeah, Sean Murphy gets hurt again, but we traded away Jonah Heim.
Yeah, I know. But what sucks is that Sean Murphy just got hurt again.
So
he broke his finger.
Yes,
He's out for
that's
8
what I
weeks.
was going to touch on. I was going to circle back to that after getting rid of Jonah Heim. Yeah, he comes back on the game against the Dodgers, and I think didn't the guy's bat hit his hand and break his finger?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be out for 8 weeks. It would have been nice to hold on to Jonah Heim, but I understand that we couldn't have did that. And there's also this weird thing that the Braves seem to have with the Athletics, like we get Murphy and Olsen from the Athletics. Now we're giving Jonah Heim to the Athletics. Like, I don't know if
I think
there's
Alex
some weird behind
Anthopoulos,
the
he's got some homies over there, and
I think he has to.
They like each other, and he's like, "Come on, let me help you out here."
Yeah, at this point, every time you hear a Braves trade, you hear something to do with the Athletics. It's getting weird.
Right.
But you know what? If we end up being the victors in the trade, it's all good. But Jonah Heim, you were great while you were here, man. I hope you all the best of luck. Yeah, like you really did help us out there, because I did touch on how Jonah Heim was the catcher for all the shutouts. And if you're a casual baseball fan, you don't understand that when it comes to shutout games, when it comes to the pitcher performing well, there's so much responsibility goes on the catcher. They have to have
The
such
catcher
good chemistry.
is the general on the field.
Absolutely.
Always.
It's basically like quarterback and center right there. That's exactly what they are. That's the relationship they have. So you don't get a lot of credit for that, especially by casual baseball fans. They think all you do is sit there and argue with the pitcher about what they're going to throw, and you just sit there and catch. No, there's so much that goes into being a catcher.
Yeah, the
and
catcher
Jonah
knows the
Heim's-
hitters just as well as the pitcher does.
Absolutely.
If not
And
better.
Jonah Heim's doing great, man. So all the best of luck to Jonah Heim. I will say there is one thing that seems to be a reoccurring issue, and I think you know where I'm going this. Ronald Acuna Jr. hamstring strain.
Yep.
He's got a grade 1 left hamstring strain. It
10
says
day
that,
IL. He should be back in probably a week from now.
so
you
it
know?
said that he would be eligible to return this coming up Wednesday, but Walt Weiss said that his return is not imminent. He resumed baseball
probably the right thing to
activities.
do. Yeah.
He was seen taking drills before the Cubs game, but he's not yet running at full speed. It says the team plans to get through the current homestand and reevaluate him afterwards. It looks like he'll probably come back when we play against Boston, which is probably the best idea to go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, with the hamstring and something that's reoccurring for him, you definitely need to baby it a little bit. And Ronald clearly hasn't been himself like so far this season. That being said, like the fact that the Braves are as good as they are right now, like I don't think we've seen the ceiling for this team, man.
No,
I think the
not at all.
2026 Braves
Not
are
even
going to be
close.
even better than this.
Absolutely.
Because Ha-Seong Kim just came back.
Yep.
You know, Spencer Strider came back. You know, he looked a little rocky against the Rockies, no pun. But against the Dodgers, man, he was incredible. And that was the I know. I was thinking about that in my head, like when I was driving earlier, and I was like, "Don't say that." And of course, it just came out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so but against the Dodgers, he looked incredible, and that's who you want to, you know, that's the litmus test right there. And shout out to Dodgers fans on X. I heard what you guys said after you won Game 1, where they were all saying, "Yep, see, this is what happens. This is what it looks like when the Braves play a good team." Yeah, well, this is what it looks like when the Dodgers play a good team because we won that series too.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, you mean to tell me it took us this long to lose a series? Come on now, get out.
and that was against the Mariners, you know,
Yeah.
and the Mariners are a great team.
Yeah, but it did, and I will tell you, it makes me feel great to know that the Braves can go out there and play a team that literally has double their salary, double their spending power, and still take them in a series. You know, like, and the thing is, it's at that point where we can
on the road.
Yeah. And it's also at that point where we can, instead of just saying as a fan trying to defend ourselves, we can successfully say as fans now that teams that do beat us, that do get the better of us, they're really good teams because the Braves are that good. So the Mariners, I think all that did was put us on notice with the Mariners that, like, hey, next time we play them, we can't be messing around. We got to take them seriously.
Yeah. And let's talk about that West Coast trip. Like, in all honesty, like if you look ahead of the schedule, like we're not going to have a road trip that tough ever again, like for the rest of the season, you know? And
Well,
we came out nice.
I thought the first time we went out west was going to be the
Was gonna be
difficult
bad.
one
Yep,
with
but
the
we got through
Angels and
that.
everybody else, but we got through that. Still didn't lose a
But
series
Goldberg
until we
came
go
out of the
back out
dugout.
west.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still didn't lose a series until we went back out west to Seattle. And it's weird. It's weird how sports, not just baseball, how sports evolve. Because I don't remember ever being worried about the Mariners, even in the Randy Johnson days. Like maybe
Yeah.
a little here and there, but I don't ever being like, oh, the Mariners. So like when me as a 36-year-old man here, man, the Braves lost their first series of the year, and it was to the Mariners. I'm like, the Mariners? What?
Yeah, or it's like, man, they lost to the Orioles, and it's like, well, you just got to realize that like teams
Yeah.
go through,
Yeah.
their cycles of like when they have the farm system becomes, a great team
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So Mariners are that same way, great team. Whenever they come to Atlanta, like let's see what they got, because I
Yeah,
think
we
we'll
got to
be ready
show
for them
up.
this time.
Got to
Yeah.
show up and turn out. I'm actually going to try to go to the Red Sox game during Memorial Day weekend. It
Nice.
should be nice. I'm going to try to get out there. It's really hard to get me to go all the way out to Marietta. I'm just going to say, because if we want to circle
Yeah.
back, to the good old days of Ted Turner and Bobby Cox, I'll tell you this, and I mean it through and through. There wasn't nothing wrong with the Ted, and there is nothing like those good old blue lot days, baby. Nothing
Oh, I
like
know,
them.
man. I know.
Nothing
I
like
miss them. I miss them. Yeah, I mean, I still love the new park though, but
new
yes,
park's great.
I definitely miss the Ted.
The new
And,
park's great, and I will say having a music venue attached to it is pretty solid. It's not the greatest music venue in the world, sorry, it's not, but it's still cool to be able to, dude, you can honestly kill two birds with one stone. Like if the Braves are playing early afternoon game, you can go to a Braves game, then you can go see a band, you can go to the little Terrapin, bar they have. Dude, you can have a good old time at Truist
Now
Park.
we
You really
literally
can.
we literally did that last year. With my band Sunmancer, our friends in August Burns Red were playing here, opening for Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine,
Oh, nice.
and they're all big baseball fans, and so they basically
You
like
said
once they're
August
done
Burn
playing,
Red are all Phillies fans, though, right?
they're Phillies fans, but at the time
Yeah.
it was the Nationals were in town, but they love baseball, so they wanted to go to baseball games. So half the band went to the baseball game, and half the band stayed at the show, like my band and their band, which is pretty cool. So it's like as soon as they're done playing, they're like, all right, they go shower, change, and then off to the ballpark and just walk over there.
Beautiful.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
Now, another guy we want to touch on, Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider made his return.
Yes.
He looked
Yes.
sound, against the Rockies and then against the Dodgers. Against the Dodgers, he shut them down. 6 scoreless innings. He only allowed 1 hit, striking out 8 to earn his first win. Man, dare I say, the Braves, everything we were worried about, we no longer have to worry about, and we are only getting stronger as we go. Even though it's this early in the season, I understand.
We're a quarter of the way through. Let's say that.
Yeah.
We're a quarter of the way through.
We're about $80 worth on the MLB Network through.
That's right. Yeah. By the way, if you want to get Braves Vision, I checked today. It's $80. I did it. I went ahead and did it.
But yeah,
I'm tired of stealing the games illegally, allegedly. Not that I would ever do that.
Yeah, no, I would.
But yeah,
never do
that's
that.
too big of a pain in the ass, man. It's Hawks are
But-
done, so I'm not paying for the Hawks. I'm paying for the Braves now, baby.
But I mean, in all honesty, there's not much more we can say about the Braves except they are playing dominant.
Not true.
So-
Not true. I got something to say.
oh well, I will say they're playing so dominant that they just beat the Cubs 5-2.
Hey, there we go. Sorry, Cubbies. I hate that name. They're like, my Cubbies.
The
I'm like,
Cubbies.
that is so not
It's like
intimidating
a
at all.
little
Cubbies.
It's the thing you put your jacket
Oh,
in
so
in
cute.
kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, here, put your raincoat in your
Well,
little cubby.
All right, but
My
yeah,
little cubbies. But what I was going to say is, shout out to the
Cubbies.
yeah. Hey, shout out to my whole family, my in-laws.
Yeah, how'd that one feel,
Little Cubbies.
Randy? How'd
Yeah,
it feel,
right.
Randy?
Yep. Hey, let's not talk too early, but but I feel good about this. I know that they're getting excited about baseball again. The Cubs have been bad the last couple of years.
Hey, man,
Braves have
will
been
say-
good, but middling. Last year was not good, but
I will say one of the bad things about this now is Dansby's in Chicago looking stellar, looking just about as good as he ever did for Atlanta. So
and he's getting paid well for it. But
Oh,
you know
yeah.
who we got? We got Mauricio Dubon. And I was going to say the unsung MVP of this season so far is Mauricio. He has been great at the plate. He has been the Swiss Army knife that we needed. Every injury that we've had to deal with, someone going down, he'll play shortstop, he'll play outfield. It doesn't matter. And now Ha-Seong Kim coming back is like, we can kind of move him around to wherever we need him. Like right now, we need an outfielder because Ronald Acuna Jr. is out. So I shout out to him. He's been great. I did not expect him to be that way at all. Also, shout out to the whole pitching staff because, again, you and I said earlier, like that was to us, like the big glaring weakness of this team, which clearly is not.
Got to figure it out, dude. Got to figure it out.
So they figured it out. And then I want to float a little idea. There's some rumors going around, and I'm not sure how realistic this is. And I don't believe Alex Anthopoulos will do this.
Are you talking about that dude out there in Los Angeles? That guy?
I am.
Oh, God.
I am.
Get off it.
$37 million. I know. I don't see Alex Anthopoulos doing that, but could you imagine an outfield?
But Jeremy,
with
the thing
Acuna,
is,
Michael Harris hitting the way that he's been hitting.
I'm hearing you.
And shout out Michael Harris, man. He's breakout.
I'm going to listen. Yeah, great guy.
And then Mike Trout.
Yeah. Okay.
And 4 years left on his deal.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I hear you. However, when I think of Mike Trout, I think of a 34-year-old ball player who's injured every year. So we're gonna get 4 months of really good Mike Trout.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Million.
If you what don't
on
put
paper
him in the on paper, yes.
On paper,
but
that makes you way better than the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cubs.
It does
the
on
Red
paper.
Sox, you name it.
But to me, it gives us another liability now. However, check this out. Acuna gets healthy. We keep the outfield the way it is, and then he's our DH. That would excite me way more than him being on the outfield, being a 34-year-old who's just going to hurt himself again.
Yeah, no, I mean, you'd rotate him. You'd probably platoon him with somebody.
Yeah.
But, dude, imagine adding him to this lineup. And then another guy I got to say that, we've talked about earlier on, like early in the season, Ozzy Albies, man. Like he's having a killer season. Like having him
whatever it takes to
in
keep
the lineup
in
between two lefties. Like if he's going against a lefty and he gets to hit right-handed, bro, he's been stellar.
Yes. And
extremely consistent.
Please, please don't be stingy with this. Pay him because you got to keep him. Because the way baseball is right now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like if you don't pay him, have you seen that little orange and blue team in New York and how bad they are right now? You think they're not going to pay Ozzy Albies to come save him?
Oh, they would love to.
Exactly.
Love to. Yeah.
You need to
Nothing
pay him
will
this
save
year.
Them. Nothing will save them. I'll tell you.
Dude, they're doing so bad that they're pulling up all their guys from AA right now. Like, dude, nothing can save the Mets this season. It's awful.
I will say the Phillies though. Last time we talked, like the Phillies were doing awful. Fired their manager. They got Don Mattingly, and they're starting to act like what they're supposed to. So,
however, I think they're
luckily
still
we built. They're still everyone's 8 games back from us.
Yeah,
and let me say this as well, like. Our division, the Braves have that 8-game lead and maybe better now, depending on what else happened around the league after we beat the Cubs tonight. Every other division around the MLB is separated by like 1 to 3 games. Mm-hmm. So we've got a commanding lead, and we're the only ones.
We've got a cushion.
We're the only one because even the Dodgers, as well as they've been playing, it's like Padres are right there. Mm-hmm. So I like where we're at. You can't win this in the first quarter of the season, and I've heard people say like. Has anyone ever wrapped up a division in the first quarter of the season? No. No. You can have an 8-game lead halfway through the season, and I've seen the Braves do this when we had Freddie Gonzalez and we had an epic collapse. Yeah, and ended up snagging a wild card.
Are you talking about that 2010 season where we didn't go to the World Series because of the Giants? That one?
No, that was Bobby Cox's last season, actually.
Okay.
But no, it was Freddie Gonzalez was the manager, and I think it was like 2012 or 2013 or something like that. But it was Freddie Freeman, Jason Hayward, like all those guys, like we were killing it. But then all of a sudden, they caught up to us. So you got to be careful, like temper your expectations. But again, my feeling is we have not seen the best of this team, and they are already the best team in the league.
No, we haven't seen the best of the season. And the thing is, knock on wood, but we haven't seen any real signs of collapse either because, like, the one time Chris Sale, blew a game, he came out and he hasn't done it since. We lost a series, we come back and we win a series against the Dodgers nonetheless. Then we come out and tonight we literally played the other best team in baseball. The 2 best teams in baseball played right now.
Not to mention we just beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, we just beat the Dodgers, and then we just beat the Cubs, who are the other best team in baseball. Like, this could potentially be a preview of the National League Championship, and it looks like we could take them.
Yeah, I agree. And to talk about the Cubs is like they've gotten very hot. I don't think anyone expected them to be this good, and that's a great position to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look under the hood versus looking at the Braves under the hood, it's like, I don't know, like our depth is kind of unmatched.
Right.
Like it's not just guys getting hot. Like we have so many guys. We have like Ronald Acuna Jr. is hurt right now.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Riley has not gotten off to the start that he wanted to get.
Hey, dude, what happened last time Ronald Acuna got hurt?
I believe we won a World Series.
Yeah, I think we won a World Series.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he doesn't have a season-ending injury.
No, that wasn't the last time he got hurt. But
yeah,
yes. Yeah,
he doesn't have a season-ending.
He has been getting hurt the
injury,
last couple of years,
but
yeah.
Wouldn't that suck though? Like if you were Ronald and you just had to see the team win another fucking World Series without you.
That would suck, but I mean, he still gets the ring because you got to win
still
those games to get to
too.
the playoffs. Yeah,
Still gets paid. But no, I mean, if you want to circle back to the Mike Trout thing, like I do agree. I do think it would be good. It would be great. It would put a lot of asses in seats, even though we don't need help with that right now.
No, we don't.
But it's just like, what for? Like my point is, why use that money right now when it's unnecessary? Why not use that money towards re-signing Ozzy Albies? You know what I'm saying?
It's a risk. It's a risk. Like, and I wouldn't say that I'd pick Ozzy Albies over Mike Trout. Like that. That's just weird to say. But I see what you're saying. Like, you want to make sure you have money to continue to be flexible and take care of the guys that you have that, that have already had success here and homegrown guys.
Well, it's also proven that, like, do we even need him? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, cool, it'd be great. It'd be awesome to add him to it. Cool, blah, blah, blah. But do you need to do it?
And it's a risk, like with the injury stuff and the amount of money, $37 million a year. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Listeners might think that that's not a lot. I don't know, like, what kind of rich guys listen to us, but $37 million a year is a lot. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of low risk because he's an incredible player. He's one of the best out there.
Yep.
So, and the Angels, they're not going anywhere, and it's like if they want to get some farm hands in and get a haul for him, I'm not sure how much Alex Anthopoulos would be willing to give up, and that's kind of why I think this is a little bit of a pipe dream.
Yeah.
To me, it's just kind of it's a fun bar conversation, and yeah, that's what this podcast is. It's a fun bar conversation about sports. You know what I mean?
But now,
what if we got Mike Trout?
Do you see Mike Trout ending this season in the Angels uniform? Like, do you feel like he's trying to get his exit, or it's just talk?
I think the writing can be on the wall. Like, I think he's even said he wants to be an Angel for life. But at the same time, it's like, are the Angels just going to, piss all their money away to him and then still not win anything because they're not really building anything around him?
They haven't really won much since they got him.
No, they haven't. They've had a couple good seasons, but they've had some good players around him. They had Ohtani.
Yeah, I know. And you mean to tell me
they let him
we're
get
talking
out
about
for
the same, and that's what I'm saying. We're talking about the same organization that had Ohtani and had Trout and still didn't get a ring with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and they didn't even trade Ohtani. They let him walk.
Yeah.
They got nothing for him.
I remember, I think it was back, Mike Trout wasn't he a rookie back in 2009 or 2010 or maybe 11? Something like that.
When we were coming out of high school, like, he was the top, like, most talked about prospect guy.
Right. Yeah.
So probably around like 2009.
So at this point, he's been in the league, 14 years, something like that? 16, 15 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting up there. He's been playing for a while, and like he's been injured. He's been injured pretty consistently the past 3 years, like consistently.
Probably
injured.
More than that. Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I at the same time, like when you look at a talent like Mike Trout, I mean, there's so many players. You can the list goes on and on of players who deserved better. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is like Charles Barkley never got a ring. Guys like that. Steve Nash never got a ring, but I think we love Steve Nash just because he was the good white boy in the court. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's why we loved him. But it's just
Steve
like
Nash. Love Jason Williams.
The list goes on and on. The list goes on and on about players who were just on the right player on the wrong organization. And I do think you kind of get a glimpse of that with Mike Trout.
Yeah, without a doubt. And before we move on from the Braves, I hope everybody noticed our full Bobby Cox tribute outfits. On. Yeah.
And now that you've called it off, I can take it off because it's so hot in this room.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, I'll go ahead and transition this to the Hawks. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, which was, the Hawks did lose in 6, 4-2 against the New York Knicks. Yeah, we know. We saw it. I know it was a bad loss that last game, but now that we've had time to relook at it and not overreact, it sucks watching your favorite team lose in the first quarter. Like I get that, but at the same time, it's like if you had told me, you know, 6 months ago that the Hawks are going to lose to probably the best team in the Eastern Conference in 6 games in the first round, especially the way they looked, you know, back in December, I'll go, okay, like,
Yeah.
sounds like we're building on something, you know?
Absolutely.
So you take away like the full on ass whooping they got that last game, and it was brutal. I'm not taking anything away from the Knicks saying that. But I think that like they still overachieved this season. The future looks bright. You know, the Knicks look like they are the best team in the East.
Yeah, and dude, and that's the thing that gets me is like I hate the Knicks with a passion, and it sucks losing to them, but then it sucks seeing them move on and having to admit like, damn, the Knicks are actually just a good team.
But what they just did to the Sixers, they weren't able to do to us. So we can take some pride in that. Like so far, we're the only team that beat them in the playoffs. So we'll see what they do against either Cleveland or Detroit. And to be honest, I don't think that Cleveland or Detroit has a chance against them because I don't know what happened to them. But like I think after CJ beat them that in Game 3.
Yeah, everything just came to life. They are a completely different monster right now.
Yeah,
because
dude.
like they're still winning by like large margins, and they are looking incredible.
No, they whooped
out
the
there,
Sixers
dude.
big time.
Yes, they are looking incredible out there. So it does kind of make me feel good that like we're not the only team that got blown out by the Knicks. Like the Knicks are just on a fucking tear.
At least we got 2 wins.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
Yeah.
like good God, man. Like yeah, they look crazy right now. Now I think Oklahoma City still looks better, but I mean, that's probably going to be your finals matchup.
You mean the referees look great?
Yeah. The guys in the striped jerseys. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The guys in the blue jerseys. I confuse them all the time.
Yeah, those referees.
I agree.
They're playing a great game out there. Holy shit.
I've been playing basketball a lot with some of the homies from Outrun, and today we were all doing the like basically like old school basketball versus new school basketball, and it's like, you know, basically you don't even try and shoot the ball. You just flop. You're just like, hey.
But it's like, dude,
what
it's
happened?
like it's so offensive as a fan to just watch that, and it's just enraging watching these Oklahoma City fans sit there and cheer it on and act like they're a better team. You're not a better team. SGA has just been doing that. Dude, did you see that there was this game they played? I think it was the game before the elimination game. It took all of like 1 second before a whistle went off towards Oklahoma City because they were immediately flopping and calling fouls. Immediately.
Well, honestly, it's kind of part of the game now, man. And like there's like retired refs that work with these teams to say like this is what the refs are looking for to get a foul, and so you kind of bring that into your repertoire, and you know, teams that don't do that don't have an advantage.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know how you clean that up, but it is what it is. I also want to talk about in that last game against the Knicks. I got to point out our guy Dyson Daniels.
Yeah,
getting thrown out of the game, going toe to toe with Mitchell Robinson, man. He wasn't backing down.
But then Wembanyama straight up elbows the hell out of this dude.
That was bad.
No fine, no suspension.
No he just got ejected from the game. And it's so funny. Like Wembanyama had that look on his face, like to the ref, like, "Wait, they can throw me out of the game?" Like, yeah, even you. You know,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like this dude.
The look on Wembanyama's face when he did that too. It's just like he had the ball and he's like. You can see him turn evil and just
straight up UFC like elbow.
That was bad, man. Yeah,
elbowed him. Bad. No fine, no suspension, and it wasn't. It was completely blatant and flagrant. Like he meant to do that with all of his power. There was nothing accidental about that at all.
No, and honestly, man, like with the Dyson thing, it was like they were getting their ass whooped so bad. It was like we all wanted that.
Yeah,
we all were feeling that same way, and we wanted to see that happen. Now it's not sportsmanlike, and I'm not like condoning that, but we all felt that same frustration. He was getting.
I'm condoning it. You're going home anyway, dude.
You're going anyway.
Make it count.
I think that's
dude.
the way he looked at it. I think that's exactly what he was thinking. Was like, yeah, you know what? We're going home. You know, we're down by 50 in the first half. Like,
yeah,
I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm just gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him have it.
Next time, just punch him in the mouth. Like, stop talking about it. Just hit him.
I just love that. Like, he was not gonna stop. You know, like he was not gonna stop with Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson wasn't gonna stop either. Like he was carrying 6 guys.
is all the interviews I've heard with Dyson and about Dyson is something you need to understand about Dyson, and he's not to be played with, and he's not a punk.
No, he's supposed to be one of the toughest guys that you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
Like he'll whoop some guys. And then let's talk about the draft lottery, and how that turned out.
yeah. How do you feel about the position? I know
I'm not super excited.
You're probably more upset than I am. Well, I'll tell you.
I watched it live.
I don't think we're gonna get Cam Boozer. Tell you that.
No, hell no. I'll tell you who we're gonna get, man. So
Okay.
your projected top 4, which it should be no surprise, and maybe in a little bit of a different order, but you're looking at Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsta, Cameron Boozer, and Caleb Wilson. After that, when you talk about 5 through 10, all the projections are going to be different. It just depends on what each team actually values the most. Like the top 4 are pretty clear. Like that's who you want. And I wanted someone in the top 4. We all did.
Yeah.
And shout out to the NBA. They want to talk about how tanking is bad and everything, but like literally the top 4 tanking teams got the top 4 picks in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was the Wizards number 1, tanked on purpose. Jazz tanked on purpose. Grizzlies tanked on purpose, and the Bulls tanked on purpose.
Ooh, speaking of the Grizzlies, did you see that? I think it was Clark passed away today?
Yeah, passed away. Yeah. I didn't see why.
Awful.
29 years old.
29 years old. They're saying this is hearsay. This is suspected. This is the report I read, but apparently they're attributing it to a drug overdose, which is awful and heart-wrenching. Terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. Yeah,
Terrible.
that's awful.
Such a young man's promising future.
Got to be careful with that stuff,
man.
guys.
You got to, dude.
Don't do drugs.
Please pay attention and know what you're putting into your body. I mean, of course, abstinence is the best way, but I can't preach that because I wasn't. But it's just like, please be aware of what you're putting into your body. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because it happens. It's happened to people that we've known in the past.
And it happens in an instant. It's a split second. It's immediate, and there's no coming back from it. So please, I can't tell you not to experiment, not be recreational. Cool. Just please be aware of where you're getting it from and everything else. And that's really all I can say. That's all I'm going to say.
Even then, there's certain things you can't trust.
So.
There's certain things you got to stay away from.
Of course, in a perfect world, keep your nose clean and stay away from all that shit. But I'll tell you, and I mean this in no perfect way, I have a rule with my life. I don't do anything anymore except drink beer. But for the longest time, my rule was no powders, no pills. And I think that's a great way to live by.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Like you just don't know what's out there. And I know they got all those testing kits and stuff like that. I stay away from all of it.
I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
I stay away from all of it.
I don't trust that.
I don't
if it comes from the ground, it's probably okay. But
sure.
Even then,
I'll stay away from that too. But let's get back to NBA basketball before neither of us ever get hired for anything ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm looking at, for the Hawks, a lot of people are projecting us to get Keaton Wagler, 6'6" guard out of Illinois. I wouldn't be mad at that. No,
not at all.
I stick with my philosophy. I think bigger guards is what you want. You want to stay big. Get you another guy that's like Nikhil or something. And then, A.Day Mara from Michigan, the center, 7'3", white dude, killer.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be mad about that, even though I don't really see him going that high. I think he's probably going to go like maybe in the teens.
Yeah.
But we also have that 24th pick. So it's like, we got 2 first-round picks.
He might still be there, to be completely honest.
He might still be there. And I would love for us to get another center. I would love for us to get another center because you saw what happened with us, like missing Jock Landale.
Yes.
Onyeka Okongwu, I love him, and we have him on a great deal. And everybody in the NBA would love to have Onyeka on that deal. I'm telling you. That being said, I don't want to trade him, but he does need – we can't have that drop-off at center when he's gone, like we saw in the Knicks series.
Absolutely.
And with Jalen Johnson, we saw a lot of growth out of him, but clearly he might be a 1B rather than a 1A.
Jalen Johnson.
It's a little too early to just stamp that on him, but
and I'm not gonna stamp it on him.
We all saw what we saw,
and I'm not gonna completely write him off either. I will just tell you he's got a lot of maturing to do, a lot of growing to do.
Because he
Great
was
talent.
still getting some numbers like halfway through that series, but like he wasn't really taking control.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
We need someone who's going to be able to impose.
That's
themselves,
exactly what I was meaning. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because I'm not trying to shit on the kid. Incredible season, incredible talent, but he's just not ready to be the guy yet. He'll get there. I fully believe he'll get there. He has the potential to do it.
But is he Batman or is he a Robin?
I think he's Robin, and I think he needs to find his Batman.
I think he'd be an incredible Robin.
Yeah,
I don't know how good of a Batman he would be.
Exactly.
Because we didn't see Batman. Now, if we found a way to get Ant Edwards, and it won't be this offseason, but if we found a way to get him, oh boy,
he keeps dropping hints that he wants to come home, man.
He does, but look, he's having success in Minnesota. They're not knocked out yet. Like they're still going toe to toe with the Spurs.
And in all honesty, man, it's one of those things that, like, as a professional athlete, you just got to go with the team that's winning. Like, of course, it's everyone's childhood dream to represent the city they come from. But, like, you're in Minnesota. Minnesota's got a great program, and you're doing well in the playoffs. Like, maybe keep a good thing going,
Some guys prioritize, like, the being home thing more than others. Ant seems like a guy that, like, dude, every chance he gets, he's repping Atlanta. Like, they even asked him about a pass that he threw to somebody. He's like, what are you thinking of that pass? He said, Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. Dude, he picked Roddy White. Like, of all – he didn't say Julio. He didn't say Drake London. He said Roddy White. Like, I thought that was awesome.
That's because he's a real one, dog.
He's a real one. Like, he's a real Atlanta fan. Like, he bro, if he was starting a podcast and he wanted to call it A-Town Rundown, I'd give him the name.
Yeah, but on top of that, I feel like no matter where you go, you need to rep where you're from, and he's doing a great job of that. So
he does that, man. He does that. No,
But I mean, how do you think? I would love to see him. How do you think dudes like Steve Adams feel, who are from New Zealand? They're like, yeah, well, I got to represent Houston. Go Houston.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Well, or Dyson Daniels, like he's from Australia.
Yeah, he's from Australia.
Or Jock Landale, he's from Australia.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I mean, like I said though, some guys. Like you and me, no matter what happens, like we're always going to be about Atlanta. Not everybody that leaves Atlanta is like that.
Yeah.
Ant's like us,
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it.
Speaking of which, there's something I wanted to ask you because you and I are both into our memorabilia. We love our memorabilia game. At this point with the Hawks, with how contentious the roster is, who is a safe jersey to buy in your opinion? Do we have a safe jersey player on the Hawks right now?
I'd probably say Jalen Johnson. Like for the next 4 or 5 years, I'd say Jalen Johnson. But
okay.
But honestly, man, at my age, like I'm thinking about not buying current player jerseys anymore. Like if I get a new style jersey, I'm just gonna get custom because I'm older than all the players at this point. Like even with the Falcons, like every jersey I buy, I've bought.
There might be a few kickers in the
Cousins.
NFL older than us.
There might be, but I bought like Kirk Cousins. I bought Calvin Ridley. I bought Vic Beasley. Like I have a ton that's just like I can't even wear anymore. Like they're not relevant. Like I can wear the classics. Like if I want to go back, like I have a couple Hawks jerseys. Like I got like Mutombo, and I've got Dominique Wilkins, like things like that. I can wear forever. But like my Trae Young jersey, I can't wear it till he retires.
Now there's a two-parter. There's a two-parter to this question because you, much like I will gladly wear, and I've gone over this on this podcast. I will gladly wear the jersey of another team as long as it's a retired player and it's not during that season. Like I have a Mark McGwire jersey, I have a Wade Boggs jersey, I have a Vince Carter jersey, all that stuff. But are there certain teams that no matter who the player is, no matter what instance it is, you would never wear? Because I would never be caught dead in a Yankees jersey, and I don't give a fuck whose number it is. I would never wear a Mets jersey. So I've got a couple of questions for you, and you're going to tell me if they're okay or not. I'll start it with John Stockton, Utah Jazz jersey.
Totally legit, especially because those are badass, dude. With the mountain on them. Those are cool. The purple ones with the mountain. I love those. Yeah, I'd let you get away with John Stockton.
Okay, now the only
and small white guy.
Small white guy. Now this for me is the only New Yorker I've ever considered. Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks jersey.
No. I don't care what the name is. Patrick Ewing, great guy, great career. Killed it at Georgetown as well, but no. It
Now,
says New York
okay,
Knicks on it.
so a Ewing Georgetown jersey, completely okay.
Yeah, yeah. College is fair game. College is fair
All right.
game. Give me another
Any
one.
any Lakers jersey, other than Shaq or Kobe.
I was about to say I'd let you get away with Shaq or Kobe. I'd probably let you get away with Shaq or Kobe, but if it's like, I don't know, man. Like, actually, no, I wouldn't let you get away with Shaq or Kobe either. If you wore like a Pau Gasol, like maybe I would let you get away with it.
I have a
Or
Kobe
if-
jersey.
Nice. What number? 8 or 24?
8.
So that was pre-allegations, Kobe.
Pre-allegations Kobe, dude.
Nice. Well, that's a relic, bro. All right, hang on to that. Hang on to that. I like it. All right, hit me with another one.
Okay. Any LeBron James jersey.
No, absolutely not. No. And I don't care if that's his, like St. James, like, Catholic school, high school jersey. I don't care. Nope.
Okay. Dennis Rodman Detroit Pistons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would be sick. That'd be sick. I would approve of that. I would approve of that.
Any Dodgers jersey.
No. Even if it was a Bobby Cox Dodgers jersey, because he played for the Dodgers. Well, I don't think he played Major League with the Dodgers, but I know he was drafted by the Dodgers. But even if you had something like that,
Didn't Bobby Cox play for the Yankees?
he did.
Yeah, and
He
then
got his
Joe
first
Torre.
home run with the Yankees.
Joe Torre played for the Braves, right?
He did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
That's what I thought. And I guess the last one I have for you, any team that starts with the name New York.
No.
I knew we'd come to an agreement on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do. And I used to love Mariano Rivera, like maybe the greatest closer of all time. And I got to see him play at Yankee Stadium. Of course, I wore my Braves hat when I was there. I was just in town. But I wouldn't even wear that,
Yeah.
And look, I think those jerseys look cool. Like, I love the pinstripes. Like, I'm kind of jealous of some of the teams that have the pinstripes. Like, even the Phillies, like when they wear their red pinstripe jerseys, like they look cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Dude,
I hate the
that's
Phillies.
the thing is
you
there's so many cities that I hate whose jerseys just look cool. Like they just have cool looking jerseys, dude. They really do.
Yeah.
Dude, but even to your point, like I hate the Yankees with a passion. I was born into it. I was born into the hate for anything New York. But I think it was either 2010, maybe 2011. The Yankees came to play a series with the Braves at the TED, and we only play them, every so often, every couple of years, like every 3 or 4 years.
Now we play them every year.
Well,
But it
back
used to
then.
be, they would rotate
Back
the
then.
American League. Yeah,
And as much as I hated the Yankees, it was still the coolest thing in the world. Like looking up at the screen and Derek Jeter's at bat, it was a really surreal moment because it was something. And like, yes, to your point, now we play them all the time, but back then we'd only play them every couple of years. So it was something that was just like, all right, cool. Like I'm watching the Yankees play, and I don't get to do that,
Yeah, I saw when I went to Yankee Stadium. Me and my mom were just in New York for a week, and we just wanted to go to a sporting event in the middle of summer, so we got tickets to the Yankees game. But it was like Derek Jeter, A-Rod, Mariano Rivera closed out the game against the Rangers, and Nick Swisher was there. If you remember him,
Yeah.
he had a little short stint with the Braves. He was
Yes,
a fun
he did.
guy.
I was
he
about
was
to
a
say
fun
that.
guy
Nick
to have on the
Swisher's,
team.
yeah, he's a good player too.
Yeah, I always liked his commentary too. I never see him anymore, but like he had a little stint like in commentary when he retired as well. But let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Couple questions. All right.
Sometimes you don't like my answers though.
I mean, it doesn't matter. This is an interview, man.
Okay.
So I'm
I've
going to
never
ask
been
you.
interviewed. I'm always the interviewer.
You are, yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to ask you, like, these are scenarios of like why you can like a team. All right. Like if you're a fan of a team.
Okay.
So number one, and this should be obvious, if you were born in that city, like, can you be a fan of that team?
1000% you have to be.
Okay. All right.
You have no choice.
All right. What about if your dad is from that city and you don't live there and you've never lived there?
Do you visit there often?
You have in your life, but not, I wouldn't say often.
No, you represent where you're from. Let your dad cheer for his team.
All right. What if you like the way their jerseys look?
Then wear them in the off season.
Okay, but is it okay to be a fan of them?
No. You can't be a fan just because of the way a jersey looks. That's not okay. If you're playing a video game or something like that, yeah. But like genuine fandom all over a jersey, come on.
Right, like you're talking trash to other people at work about the local team because you like them, and the only reason you like them is because when you're a kid, you're like, I like those jerseys, and then you're just
Yeah,
a
no,
lifelong fan of them. Okay, so that's
nope,
unacceptable. All
yeah,
right, what about if you went to college in that area
yes.
for 4 years? Now, I'm not
Not
talking about a
not in
college
the
team.
area. No, no, no. Not if you went to college in that area. Only if you went to that college.
Well, I'm not talking about college. I'm talking strictly professional sports. You went to a
Okay.
college. Let's say you went to a college in California, or let's say Arizona,
Okay.
and now you're a huge, Arizona Cardinals fan.
Okay. I do have a slight pass on this because it is one of those things where, like, if I live all the way in Arizona, I'm not going to get all the Braves talk that I can. But I can go out, I can watch some Diamondbacks games, I can get to learn the team. I can, just because I'm a fan of pure baseball, of course, I'm going to go there. And if I'm going to cheer for the home team of where I am. However, I think you should only be a partial fan. I think you should still pay your loyalties to where you're from.
Okay, yeah, all right. So that was going to be my next question. Was like, what if you moved? Let's say you're a young man, you grow up in Atlanta, then you move to, let's say you move to Denver, and
Mm.
like you start having kids and you raise your family there.
So
Are
you mean I
you
got to
gonna
cheer for the
be
Rockies?
Are you gonna be a Rockies fan now? Are you gonna
Um,
be a Broncos fan now?
like
Is
I
that
said,
acceptable?
Like I said, I would probably keep it kind of partial just because it at this point you're being a fan by default because you also got to understand you're going to be raising your kids and stuff in a market where they don't have access to the Braves and they're more
Mhm.
than likely going to be, part of their environment. They're more than likely going to be Rockies and Broncos
And
fans.
everyone around
And
you is going to be a Broncos fan, and like you're on
yeah,
NFL Sunday, but you're planted there. You're living there forever. You're raising the
yes.
kids there.
And the thing is, I would be one of those people where like I would cheer for the Rockies and I would cheer for the Broncos as long as they're not playing Atlanta. And when it came down to it, I would still be an Atlanta fan first, but I would kind of be a fan on both sides. But the kicker in this is I would tell my kids like, you're from here, you cheer for this team, like you guys are
Yeah,
Rockies fans.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, your dad likes the Braves, but like you guys are. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
you're a Rockies fan.
and I guess the question is that acceptable? If someone's like, I'm a Denver fan, and you're like, why are you a Denver fan? You're like, well, because I moved here and like now I have
Yes.
family here, and my kids watch the Broncos, and
It's
so or whatever.
acceptable, and I feel like but you have to explain it for it to be acceptable.
hmm So I
Now,
have I have a example of this. My brother-in-law's dad was born in New York, raised in New York, Giants fan. He moved to Atlanta in 1966 and has stayed here. 1966 is the year that the Falcons became a
mhm,
franchise. And the way he looked at it, he's like, I just got to Atlanta. The Falcons just got to Atlanta. I'm rolling with the Falcons now. And he's been a Falcons fan ever since. And I
perfectly
do,
acceptable.
I do
Perfectly
respect that a lot.
acceptable. Especially back in the '60s, how's he supposed to keep up with back
Yeah,
home?
sure. Yeah,
You
you
know,
don't get the
and dude, that was
package to see the
60 years ago.
Giants.
If you've been a fan for
Yeah,
60 years, you get a
yeah.
pass.
Oh
You get
yeah.
a
Oh
pass.
yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one thing you didn't bring up that I am vehemently against. I
Okay.
have a lot of fans who aren't that into sports, but they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a Blue Jays fan. I'm a this fan." And when you ask them why, they're like, "Oh, well, that was the T-ball team I played for." Fuck off.
Okay, I got one more
Fuck
for
off.
you. Is it acceptable to root for a team because you like one player?
Ooh, that's actually a really tough one. Now,
I mean, no. Like, but it's your team. It's your team because, example, LeBron plays there.
okay. I will give you the reason why I sometimes do this. So there have been scenarios where, okay, let's dial it back. Let's dial it back to this past football season where we had to
Mhm.
pick our playoff teams. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
The,
My
the,
Houston
Fal-
Texans.
the Falcons didn't make the playoffs. And what did I tell you? I started naming guys in Buffalo I was like, I like him. I was like, all right, I'm cheering for Buffalo. So at that moment, I became a Buffalo fan all because of the players I liked on the team. So in that scenario alone, it's okay. But if you're a full-time fan of an entire team just because you like one player, nah, not okay.
Yeah, like the guys that are like, "Oh, I'm a Cleveland fan," and then you see him a couple years later, like, "Oh, I'm a Heat fan," and you see him a
Mm,
couple years later, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a
mm.
Cleveland fan again,"
Just say
and then a
you're a
couple years
LeBron
later,
fan.
well, and that's what they say. Like, is it okay to be a LeBron fan? Is that acceptable to you when you talk to someone?
No, I don't think your loyalty should ever lie with one athlete. I feel like you should be a fan of that athlete and follow them, but I feel at the core of it, you should follow a team because that's what the sport is about. It's a team sport.
I think in my DNA, it's like you don't get to go along and celebrate the championships and even like claim that you were along for the ride if you haven't been there the whole time. You know
It's
what I
just
mean?
like it's just
And
like
even
we
for
were
the people that
saying.
pick, even for the people that pick the teams based on some of the things that we said aren't acceptable.
Mhm.
Like, let's say, I mean, like even people that I know that have been Cubs fans but never lived in Chicago. It's like, well, because you're a Cubs fan your whole life and they won a championship, great. But when they suck and the Braves win one, y'all don't get to celebrate like that.
Well, it's
You know
just
what I mean?
like
And they don't.
it's like what we were
Which I
saying
respect.
earlier when we were talking about Freddie Freeman and we were talking about Jonah Heim. Like, I love those guys, but I'll never cheer for the fucking Dodgers.
No,
You know?
no. And then there's a lot of people like when the Dodgers won the World Series last year that are just like, well, come on, man, don't you want the Dodgers to win because Freddie Freeman? I'm like, no,
No, I mean, I'm sure
no,
it'd be cool if Freddie won, but it's not cool that the Dodgers win. Like, no,
no.
I want
And
the
they did.
Braves to win. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's who I want to. I want the Braves to win. Like,
Yeah,
bottom line, you know.
yeah. If I'm watching the Super Bowl and one of our players is one of our ex players is in it, it's like at least if I like the guy, like yeah, hopefully he does well. But I don't care like if they win.
Yeah, me
You
either.
know, I
No,
get
who gives
nothing
a
out of
fuck?
that.
But before we wrap this up, I do want to say there is something else to look forward to. Speaking of winning, the Atlanta Dream just beat the Dallas Wings. So the Atlanta Dream are now 2-0. For those
Let's
of you who
go.
don't know, they entered the season and they won their first game against Minnesota on May 9th by 1 point in very dramatic fashion. They won
There we
90
go.
to 91, and we won with Angel Reese making a big ass defensive block, getting her money's worth out here. If we want to talk about these one game highlights, we had Alicia Gray, who was averaging 24 points that game, Ryan Howard with 15, Angel
There we
Reese
go.
with 11,
There we go.
Jordan Canada with 12, and Tahino Pau with 6. And then if you want to look at the assists, she had 4 assists. Tahina did. Jordan Canada was 6 assists. Then you had an Angel with 14 rebounds. Ryan with 6, and Alicia Gray with 8. And for those of you
Beautiful.
who don't know, Alicia Gray was the 2025 All WNBA first team. Ryan Howard, two-time WNBA All-Star. Angel Reese, we all know Angel Reese from LSU and from
Yep.
Chicago. Jordan Canada is a two-time WNBA champion, and Pow Pow is a 2006 opening game winner, or 2026 game opening winner. So she
Nice.
hit the opening shot. So it looks like we got a pretty stacked team when we come
We
to
do.
the Atlanta Dream. Nothing to worry about there. Off to a hot start. They won tonight 77 to 72 against Dallas. So let's end this on a high note. Let's go,
Well,
girls.
let me say
Let's go
this
Dream.
also. Yeah, let's go Dream. But like, you remember all the overreactions about how Angel Reese looked in her first preseason game?
Mhm.
Someone in this room was one of them, not me.
Hey, but that was a private conversation, Jay.
Yeah, well, not anymore. You were like, "Yo, what is this? This is not
Yeah.
good." But it's like, look,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting Angel Reese to
Well,
come
the
out there
thing
and be
is, I
Steph
think
Curry.
I was just
I'm
mad
expecting
because
her
I
to
missed
come
a
out.
big parlay.
Okay. Well, hey, and dude, if you're betting on women's preseason games, brother, you got a problem.
No,
You know?
there was a parlay that she would
Call
miss her
1-800
first shot.
gambling help.
There was a parlay that she would miss her first shot as an Atlanta Dream player, and I was like, no, she's not going to miss her first shot. She missed her first shot, and I missed out on some money.
Yeah, but I'm expecting her to be more like a Dwight Howard player. Like that's how she plays. Like
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
hard under the basket. She's gonna get you a lot of rebounds. She's gonna get a lot of putbacks. You got everybody else to do the other stuff. You named off all those stats, the amount of assists, and I've always been a fan of Ryan Howard since we drafted her. Like this team's
and
gonna be.
we can't forget
nice.
about Medina Okot, dude. Medina Okot looking insane out there, dude.
Okay, what'd she get?
No. She's the girl from South Carolina.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah,
Yeah, dude.
the Lady
playing
Cox,
center.
baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Lady Cox. Yep. So yeah, I mean, dude, we got a great team. You might catch me and Jeremy out at an Atlanta Dream game, and if
I
you
would
do, come
love
say
to
hi.
go. I would love
It's gonna be
to
a good
go.
time. I don't want to be cliche and say that like, oh yeah, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, that's the game I'm gonna go to. No, I just want to
I
go
don't
see
have.
them
Yeah, I was about
play,
to say it doesn't have to be that.
You know,
I
I
will
just want
go
to go
to
see
a
him
Wednesday
play.
night game at
Um,
at College Park.
what's fun is like it looks like the WNBA is getting more exciting. Like it's actually drawing me to like genuinely want to watch this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, I mean, I'd love to watch more hoops.
More hoops, dude.
More hoops.
More hoops, baby.
That's
Hell
it.
yeah. All right, well, this was a fun one, dude. This is how baseball season's going to be. You're
Hmm.
going to get a lot more banter from us, a lot more conversation, because baseball is America's pastime, and we're your favorite pastime.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, we are A Town Rundown. You can catch us on all the social medias, A Town Rundown, and that's X, that's Instagram, that's Spotify, that's all the good stuff. The YouTube, everything.
Hmm.
Jeremy's been doing a great job with the YouTube videos. He's been doing
Thank
a
you.
great job with his band Sunmancer, who just played a big
Yes.
old show this past Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
So
Yes.
congratulations to you.
Cinco de Mancer is what we called it.
Cinco de Mancer, bro. Slay it, bro. But other than that, you guys take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Let's go dream. Let's go Braves. Let's see what happens with this draft. And hopefully Atlanta's got some really good things to look forward to. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.